There are a lot of YouTube videos showing me how I can save data and how I can change my data to JSON files or a binary file. And then you just save it in your Unity file, and it all works when you're playing in the Unity editor. But what about when you build the game? What happens then? I wanted to go through where you should save or direct your file saves to go. As I've been building Lightheads World, I found this a little bit challenging. I've kind of not come across where I should be saving everything. Where should I use the persistent data path, the data path? There are so many different places that Unity will help you direct your saves to. And what cases do you use these for? I'm going to roll back a little bit here now and start with why I went looking for this information. This came to me because I had built this game and I have two types of save files. I've got one save file that saves data depending on what happens in the game. It will save the character's checkpoint location, how many coins the character has, what puzzles have been finished, information like that, that if I delete this folder, what will happen then? It will then be essentially a new game so you can play again. And then I have another type of save data, which is saving all the puzzle information. What I did is I built a puzzle builder in Unity editor, and I would make the puzzles and save the data. And then when I went to build the game, I wanted to access this data to build the initial puzzles before anyone had played the game. And this is where I got into trouble. I couldn't work out why it wasn't accessing these things. So I need to save these two different save files in different locations on Unity to be able to access them at a specific time. Let's go through the 5 different places we can save things. You can also do a debug.log with the application.any of these that we go through now to find where it is on your computer. So if you're looking for where they're saving the information, you can see it. Okay, with that said, let's start with the one that you hear the most often. It's called persistent data path. This is basically for my first version of saving. It's for when you want to update the game, but you don't want to lose information, where they are in the world, how many lives they have, how many coins they have. All that information that the player has worked so hard for should be stored in your persistent data file. Because imagine if you updated the game and you had to start again. That would be pretty annoying. They've also got application.console.log.path. Now, I don't think this is used very often, but it's basically the console's version of the persistent data path as far as I can understand. If the console doesn't register with persistent data path, you can use console log path. Then we have temporary cache path. This saves very similar to a persistent data path in a similar location on anyone's computer. This is more to get rid of things like your player preferences. You can use that as your temporary cache path. So those 3 that I have mentioned now are actually outside of your game build. So if you are building a game in Unity, and for example, I used my puzzle example where I'm saving the puzzle information. Basically, that information will be saved on my computer. I go to build the game. That will not transfer over to the game build. So these next 2, they are points inside of the Unity build that you were saving the information. We have one called data path. So it's application.dataPath. This is mostly used for if you want to find something in your assets. For example, if you've got a script that needs a different script that you know that's going to be in the assets folder, that's what you're going to use this data path for, to find a different piece of data, basically. And the last one is streaming assets path. And what this does is if I build a puzzle part, for example, it will save into Unity. And when I make the game build, that information will transfer over into the game build and I will be able to access it again. So this is the one if you've got puzzles or pieces of save files that you want to then transfer to the game, you want to use the streaming assets path. That's the one for you. Definitely definitely subscribe if you are new around here, because I love making these devlogs. I'm building Lighthaze World, and any bits of information I find, I like to pass them on. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here for now. See you guys in the next video.